Broadcasting live from across the globe. His name is Robert, and he is here to party. He has a wild hog. He has a glowing hue because he's so gosh darn beautiful, and he's here.
Yep, I'm here. Cue the intro?
Dudes with Brews on a Porch presents to you another edition of Strange Brews, Conspiracies, Murder, Ghost Stories, Aliens. They're all coming to get you, my dears.
Robert, we are here.
I've forgotten how the show's it's structured differently now.
There's only so many people I know that are willing to just talk for a couple seconds. It's I gotta meet some new people. I think it'll happen though.
Well, I think that what's changed is that I'm introduced as a guest now, no longer.
No, you're not a guest.
Co-host.
You're co-host. But you're not in the same room as me. You're in California.
It's true.
You're in the Burbank.
In Burbank,
and
I love it.
And I'll see you soon in a couple days, which is exciting. We'll talk about it. But first, Strange Brew episode. Let's get to the beers. I got my own beer. You got your own beer. We're working on our Instagram picture game. We're trying to spruce it up to make it look professional, make it look good. So don't disrespect us, okay? I'm drinking Drekker Brewing Company, which is delicious in Fargo. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, I'll be there. I'm hoping. We'll see. You're
going to Fargo?
I'm going to my grandma's house, who lives an hour from Fargo.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm drinking Sticky Digits. It is a s'more porter brewed with a whole bunch of chocolate malt, cocoa nibs, golden grams, graham crackers, toasted marshmallows, lactose, and vanilla beans. It is 6.5 ABVs, 0 on the IBUs. It looks like your porter. It looks like a standard porter. You dig? It's very dark. Kind of looks like Pepsi a little bit. So that's what it is. A friend of mine, Casey, unloaded a ton of beer on me that he wasn't going to drink, and they're all predominantly porters and stouts, which aren't necessarily my go-tos. So it's like, great, now here I am. Rob, what are you drinking?
Drinking Sculpin from Ballast Point out of Sandy. It's an India Pale Ale.
Yep.
7% ABV. I don't know about IBUs.
70 in the IBUs.
It looks like a pale ale. I don't know. It's golden.
It's got a lot of information here. The Sculpin IPA is a testament to our humble beginnings at Homebrew Mart. Founded in 1992, the Mart continues to be a catalyst for the San Diego brewing scene, setting the trend for handcrafted ale. Inspired by our customers, employees, and brewers, the Sculpin IPA is bright with aromas of apricot, peach, mango, and lemon. Its brighter body also brings out the crispness of the hops. The delicious Ballast Point Ale took a bronze medal at the 2007 Great American Beer Festival in the Pro-Am category. The Sculpin fish has poisonous spikes on its fins that can give a strong sting. Ironically, the meat from the Sculpin is considered some of the most tasty. Something that has a sting but tastes great. Sounds like a Ballast Point India Pale Ale.
Nice. I didn't see all that. They couldn't get that all on the box, I don't think.
I didn't mess up that much.
No, your reading skills have gotten much improved.
Remember, was it Muzzy? Remember, like the little cartoon monster that like taught? Oh no, he taught like Spanish.
Yeah.
God. Hooked on Phonics.
Hooked on Phonics.
Good times. Anyways, that's what you're drinking. How was it? Is it good?
It has a good taste up front.
Fucking dripped.
It's a little bit bitter on the back end, and not much smell. It doesn't have much of a smell to it, which is odd.
Mine doesn't have much of a smell to it either. I don't know what I'm getting. Is it weird that I say it has like a cigarette aftertaste?
Yeah, because I didn't know you smoked cigarettes.
I have. I mean, not habitually, and not in a long time, but I have. I have smoked a cigarette.
Well, I mean, s'mores are charred marshmallows.
I don't, it's smoother because of the lactose. I maybe get a hint of the vanilla. Maybe I gotta let it warm up a little bit to to get the rest of the taste because I'm not really getting much.
Yeah.
So maybe at the end of the episode when it's a little warmer, we'll have something to discuss. But right now, it's time for the spooky time. Okay. Talking about some lost time phenomenon or missing time phenomenon. That's something that I've encountered and something you've encountered, Rob. It's generally associated with alien abductions of types, usually in the paranormal world, correct?
In the paranormal world, yes.
So a lot of times it's like, sane people, everyday people like you and me, we're going to do something, we're in the middle of something, and all of a sudden we're either somewhere else and we don't know how we got there hours later, or there's just been, a shift in time. It's noon on a Sunday, and next thing you know, it's 5. You have no recollection of what you did the last 5 hours. I'll say from my experience, and it could be just like automation, like body reflexes that I've had. It happens to me when I'm driving. The
I think that's a common experience.
Okay, so a lot of times, and not so much. Actually, I think it has happened lately where like I'm driving, and then all of a sudden, like I'm kind of like there. I snap back to it, and I'm turning down a street I shouldn't be turning down, but it's like part of like my normal routine in which I would be turning. But in this trip, no, it's not. You know what I mean? Like it's like every day I turn left on Main Street on my way to work. And then
you're not going to work, and
well,
all
I'm
of a
not
sudden
going
you're
to
turning left.
Yeah, I'm going somewhere that's not even close to Main Street, but now I found myself turning left on Main Street. So
now that's part of the that's like I think most people that have, especially people that work the same at the same place at the same time every day, they've experienced that in one way or another, where it's like it's our routine, like the rut that we find ourselves in.
Sure.
Our brain doesn't need to keep that information, and sometimes it finds itself deleting it as it's actually happening.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you get, and then like if you're say going somewhere that you start on the path that you would take to work, but you're actually going somewhere else, but it's at about the same time, like your brain will just like shut down and like you'll ghost. You're just
right.
You're on autopilot 100%.
So I've had that, but then I've also had like, and it really wasn't that long ago, and it could be one, lack of sleep. I don't get as much sleep as I once did. I still get a fair amount of sleep, but where it's like, I look at the clock, it's 1:00, and then next time I look, it's 7 or 8, and I can't recall. Like I'm like, how did we get here? What has happened in those 6 hours? And I just don't have really much of a memory. Like I can assume, I changed the diaper, I fed the baby, I told my wife how gosh darn beautiful she is and how much I love her. And, maybe I got on my knees and did the little worship thing for a little bit. But I don't remember that. Was I abducted?
Yeah, neither did she, ironically enough.
Yeah. Was I abducted?
That's a good, that's a scary feeling, whether you're abducted or not. I think with abductions, missing time is often followed by weird, like your brain trying to put it together subconsciously. Sure. So like you start seeing things that aren't there, and like, it's really like a breakdown in your coping mechanisms. At least as far as I've seen.
Yeah.
Or read, I should say, or whatever. Probably some documentary I watched 5 years ago.
So what is your experience with it?
Most of it is like that autopilot syndrome.
Sure.
Driving, but I've definitely I remember there were times at work at when I worked in machining, where it was like the day would just be gone. And I got stuff done, but I couldn't tell you who I talked to, how I got that stuff done. I really couldn't even tell you necessarily if I got it done. I mean, like when I was machining, it was like parts counts went up. Sure. But I had to question whether or not I did my, quality checks and all that, but I was kind of so obsessed with quality checks that I'm sure I did. But yeah, like, and in the moment when that stuff happens, it is like, I was like always like, oh man, like, because I was like, if this was when I was machining, I was using back then, and that's like a scary thought, to be working on a big machine that has like, and like, you know, the machines I worked on had, you open the door, but the grinding wheel stuff doesn't stop spinning. Like if you touch it, like it's not going to be good.
Right.
For you to have that happen when you have a child, that's like, that's got to be scary too, you know, like, because it's, you literally have to question, what did I do with my child for 6 hours today?
Right.
Did I just stare at a wall blankly while the baby cried? And
Was he abducted too?
About it?
Maybe he was.
What's that?
Was he abducted with me?
Yeah. Was he there? Like, no.
Do you think? So there's a couple of reasonable explanations. Obviously, some sort of psychosis, right? Like where you could
the disassociation disorders that are really hard to pronounce. Apparently, dyslexia in children has been shown to lead to missing time syndrome in their adult life.
Really?
Because they're like it's not proven, but the general idea is that their dyslexia at a young age causes their brain to stress so much about words and things like that they don't pay attention to the idea of keeping time and understanding how time works, because they're so focused on this other thing that it affects them in their adult life. Interesting.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either until I just I did a little research beforehand.
Well, there's a lot of stories, personal accounts of missing time, and I can't find anything really. It's like nothing really crazy happens after necessarily. Some people just go about their day, go about their life afterwards. They're like, "Oh, what the hell happened?" And here I am. And then what? What do you think? What do you think is going on?
Does it happen multiple times in these cases?
And the ones that I've heard, no. Like someone said, I was on vacation looking for something to read. On the shelf there in front of me, they saw this book with this creature on it. I read the book, and I thought that someone had stepped on my head and taken my innermost fears and put them in the book. Oh, that's interesting. It brought tears to my eyes. I couldn't believe that this was actually happening to someone else. Okay.
Wait, what?
This happened after a person experienced this lost time.
So what? They experienced lost time, and then they bought the book, and the book explained somebody else's account of having lost time?
I guess. There's this one guy.
I was totally expecting that to go like, oh, I went to buy a book when I was on vacation, and then I woke up in my hotel room. The book was mediocre at best. I don't know.
There's also experiences of a person like going on a road trip that it's 2 hours away, but they're there in a half hour.
Oh yeah, we can talk about the dude that the guy who flew from somewhere in the Caribbean.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I mean, this is Ancient Aliens stuff, but it's all on record.
Okay.
I've seen some other stuff about this guy, but he was going through the Bermuda Triangle, which I believe that there's a few different experiences in the Bermuda Triangle that are either time-based or fuel-based, which is also, that's like a distance phenomenon where boats or whatever go out and they come back and they haven't used they like either they're gone less time than they should be, and they got to where they got like, so with this airplane, it was supposed to be like a 2-hour flight for him to get to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
He got there in a half an hour. They couldn't find him. Like the air traffic controllers couldn't find him. And then all of a sudden they're like, you're here, you're right over Miami, which was an hour and a half earlier than he was supposed to be, and the fuel that he used was much less, but he went through like a vortex of a spiral cloud, yellow spiral cloud. But it's like, that's documented in flight records, which are, pretty hard to fake.
Right.
So it's like he lost but I don't know if he lost an hour
Or
and
just
a
gain
half
an
or
hour.
if he lost. What's that?
Did he gain some time?
Well, there's no way his plane could go that fast.
I don't know, but I'm saying like it's not really lost time if you're there in a half hour, you know?
Yeah, and so it's like that might be one of those more like he lost space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like maybe that's more the Bermuda Triangle effect, is because I feel like there's other situations where it took the right amount of time, but the fuel levels were like all the same. We're all you use less fuel. I mean, people in the military and like pilots and what are they, captains of ships, like they understand how much fuel they need for each journey or whatever.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on?
So when that stuff doesn't add up within the variables of the tides and fucking currents, I don't know, whatever.
Somebody's screaming
I'm
in
not
your
a pilot
apartment?
or a captain. What's that?
Somebody's screaming in your apartment?
Yep.
What the fuck is happening? Are they getting abducted?
Can you really hear it a lot?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll put the headset on. They're watching Book of Boba Fett in the other room.
Oh, that's really an intense show, huh? Maybe that's one way you lose time. You just get so bored with some Star Trek or some Star Wars shit that you zone out for 2 hours.
Well, today I actually they got back from work, and I laid down for like 45 minutes and just like took a nap because I got up at 5:30 today.
Uh-huh.
And it was just so hot. It was like I took a shower, laid down, fell asleep, and they got back and they're like, "Well, what'd you do today?" Can you still hear it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh shit. Sorry. But I was like, I watched Chinatown. I went down to Tony's Darts Away and had breakfast there. And then I watched Chinatown, and then I watched something else, and I was like, I can't remember what I did for 2 hours today.
Today, even?
Yeah, today. Like I watched a movie, and I couldn't tell you what movie it is. I couldn't tell you what.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird that I asked you about lost time today, and you've experienced some lost time?
Well, I didn't even think of it as lost time until right now. Whereas, like, I know I watched 2 movies, but I know that like the second movie, I have no idea what it was.
But that's part of the phenomenon, Rod. Is that I called you Rob? There's an account. Okay, this guy, he was walking home one time, and then all of a sudden, he wakes up or he snaps back to it. Not even close. Not even on like the pathway, and then his mom just shows up to pick him up. And he's in this random street, this random location, and his mom knew exactly where he was. And his mom said, like during this lost time of his, she said, a voice in her head said, "Go get this person. This is where he is." So maybe your lost time during this, all of a sudden it sparked my, like, just thinking of, hey, paranormal things, lost time. Maybe when I was thinking of lost time, you were losing time. You were being abducted.
Well, that could be. I don't remember when we decided. It couldn't have been that long ago that we decided to do a lost time episode. Like literally within hours ago.
Yeah, a few hours ago, I think it was. But did you? At 1:00 it was in my time. 1:00 my time.
1:00 your time. So you would have told me that before it happened.
Maybe it was a preview. Maybe
psychic
abilities.
Ability, yeah.
Have you seen an owl lately?
No, but I talked to Bethany. Told me to look for owls like 2 weeks ago.
Really? Because owls are associated with oftentimes abductions, alien abductions, or even like paranormal occurrences. If you see an owl in the area, there's a chance something paranormal is going on, or like you could be getting abducted.
We should make that our, instead of saying goodbye, we should just start saying look out for owls.
Look for owls?
Yeah, watch for owls. Be our good luck and good
our sign
good
off.
Travels. Yeah, sign
look for
off.
Owls and plug your assholes. You never know.
Yeah, right.
Do you think the probing thing is real, or is that like just like what is the history of getting abducted and getting probed?
I don't think it's real. I feel like that the people that I would like to know who the first person to go like I was probed by like I got the anal probe by aliens was, if that's even a thing that happened. But to me, that sounds more like somebody who's trying to cope with a terrible traumatic event from their past, and they, you know, like you mentally block it out and go, no, it wasn't an old man from the Catholic Church. It was a gray alien with an anal probe.
A lot of times it's people who explain these experiences like a false memory syndrome, sleep paralysis, they experience this, deception, and psychopathology. That's often the side effects of
what
you
does
being
that mean?
abducted.
They experience deception.
Just deception? I don't know.
That's a very broad term to put down as something somebody experiences.
Like you're just being deceived afterwards, maybe. I don't know.
What's deceiving you?
The people.
Is that deception thing like where is that like a form of paranoia that people get?
Maybe.
After?
I don't know. So here's some narratives.
That's just a very vague term. Sorry, I sorry.
It's okay.
Continue.
No, you're fine. According to a lot of research, okay.
A lot.
The CUFOs. I don't know what the fuck that is. According to the CUFOs, the Center of UFO Studies. Okay.
UFOs. Yeah.
You knew this?
Yes.
Abductee. A person must have been taken against their will by apparent non-human beings, taken to a special place perceived as extraterrestrial or to be in a spaceship. So they have to be taken away, okay? Communication might be perceived as telepathic rather than verbal. Memory, they can go through a memory lapse or a lost time, and that a lot of times they think is because of hypnosis. So we have some hypnotists. So are our hypnotists really aliens? And they're just like, I can make a buck on Earth if I do some tricks. I got this magic. I got this voodoo.
I don't know. I'm telling you, I know I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but the X-Files episode, Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, one of the greatest single episodes of TV ever written.
What season is that?
Touches season 3.
Episode?
It's episode 4, I believe. It's episode 4 or 5, because what it goes.
I don't know.
The first two.
You're the
then
fucking
it's
nerd
DPO.
here.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it's episode 4. But Darren Morgan wrote it, and it's about alien abductions and how, like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're crazy. It's season 3, episode 4.
That one's about psychics. So I'm sorry, I'm thinking of. Give me a second.
It's Clyde Bruckman's final. You are right. It was season.
Yeah,
3.
but I am putting the wrong, because it's actually a later episode, and it's called Jose Chung's from Outer Space, that deals with alien abductions and how, like, if the government is doing alien abduction things, then they use hypnotherapists or hypnosis to plant those abductions in the mind. It's a great episode. Jose Chung, they're both written by Darren Morgan. They're both great episodes. They're both in episode season 3.
Well, here we go, Rob. I have a step-by-step track of how one generally gets abducted, or the abduction process, okay? So not all aliens are the same, but this is kind of the general route that they go on being abducted. And if you feel like you've gone through some of these, an extraterrestrial being might have been in your asshole. Here we go. 1, capture. Obviously, you gotta get caught to be abducted, right? 2.
Does capture invokes visions of running from something to me? I don't feel like you ever run from an alien.
They're rendered incapable of resisting and taken to a terrestrial surrounding or spacecraft. Okay.
Okay, I guess. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Examination and procedures. This could be psychological. This could be
Physical?
Absolutely. Simulated behavioral situations, training and testing, you say. So that's how it goes. Third, conference. They communicate with the person they've abducted, and they give, some purpose, maybe some telepathic shit goes on. And sometimes they use the native language of the person if they know it. If they installed Muzzy from the 90s and early 2000s, and now they're Muzzy could be a fucking alien. Who knows? The next step in the abduction process with aliens, not with people, aliens. Well, people being abducted by aliens. Tour. They get a tour of the vessel. They're pretty good hosts. They're like, hey, we're invading your body. We took you away from what you're doing. You want to take a look around? It's like an episode of MTV Cribs. Next time, here's the step of where what we're talking about comes in: loss of time. That's the fifth part. So they forget the experience, the people who were abducted, and this is a lot of times a result of fear, medical intervention, or both. You're just so scared.
So it's not so the aliens don't actually take the time.
No, you're just so scared.
It's the human not able to cope with it.
Or medical intervention, like you are drugged or something, and then all of a sudden that lost time.
All right.
Maybe this is a 5-minute experience, and then you just wake up once the meds wear off. Who knows?
Yeah.
The next is the return. Returned to the planet. A lot of times far from where they were, a different location from where they were picked up. And a lot of times they'll have new injuries or disheveled clothing. That's a bummer. Could you imagine?
Yeah, aliens are kind of assholes, but also not.
I'd be really upset if I just got a new pair of sneakers and then all of a sudden I got abducted and I look down and my laces are just fucked and I got a stain on some new Jordans. I would be very upset. I wouldn't like that. The next step is theophany.
Theophany.
Theophany. How do you know that word?
Dude, because I used to get into this shit.
What? That's.
I've heard people say it. That's why.
So abductees have a profound sense of love, a high similar to certain drugs. So people who say like, yo, something just happened to me, and they're acting all goofy. Most people are probably just gonna brush it off like, this fucker's tripping, Crazy. They'll get some Stockholm syndrome, where they miss their pals.
I like the fact that they throw it's like, first off, if I was aliens that were abducting people, I would put conference before training.
Yeah.
Because you're going to give me a tour eventually anyway, so just have the conversation with me up front. Take me and then go, hey, there's going to be a tour at the end.
It's like the first day of a job or an interview.
Yeah. Don't throw me into the physical and mental tests and then sit down and have a conversation with me. I'm going to be a little defensive.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I like is the fact that it goes, you get a tour and then you forget everything.
Yeah.
And to me, my mind instantly goes, so who threw the fact that they put a tour in there?
Yeah, just throwing everybody,
in there. Yeah, like whoever wrote that list is like, well, you forget. Abductees always forget, so we might as well at least.
Well, like you said before, a lot of people will go under we'll see like a hypnotherapist.
And they bring that, regressive.
And they can. And then the last thing, Rob, the last step of the abduction.
Oh, there's one more still.
The aftermath. But isn't that life? Isn't the last
That's
step of life?
Yeah.
It's always just the aftermath.
Yeah, you might as well throw another step on there. Death.
Yeah, they die afterwards. So, I'm guessing like it's through the examination that's step 2 is the potential probe.
Yeah, that's definitely in training and an examination. Yeah, they're testing our weaknesses. So naturally, that's where, well,
it says
butthole.
So it says here though the conference, the tour, those are less common occurring elements of the procedure. So it's not necessarily
not all aliens give the tour or the pep talk.
I feel like you got to give them the tour. You're invading their body. You're taking them away from what they're doing. You got to show them around. You know?
What would you do if you got abducted and then, like, after all the tests that they do on you, they're just like, check out the fridge. You want a Coke?
Wait, aliens drink Coke? Yeah, this is space Coke. That'd be.
This tastes like Pepsi. Well, in our universe, Coke is actually Pepsi.
Oh, geez, disgusting.
Yeah, you would be pissed. I would be so happy.
I'd be
and you,
upset.
so you would put up a fuss, and then they drop you off in Gary, Indiana.
So a lot of these
with scuffed shoes, how terrible would that be?
scuffed shoes would be a bummer. I'd be pretty mad at ET for that. You know, he'd be like, ET phone home. I'd be like, no, ET owes me some fucking J's. Yeah. Take your magic finger and fucking clean the leather that you just got dirty. You son of a bitch. You like mobile turd. I'd be so upset. E.T. Crazy movie. Good movie.
You ever seen Mac and Me?
Oh yeah, of course. Mac and Me is a weird movie. The kid falls off a cliff.
Yeah, absolutely.
You ever see like the Paul Rudd interviews with Conan?
Yeah, I just saw that for like the first time, and as soon as it started showing that scene, I was like, "This is Mac and Me." Holy shit!
Yeah, I loved Mac and Me when I was a kid. And the funny thing, so Paul, this is sidetracking, but Paul Rudd was on the Conan O'Brien podcast, and like he built up this whole thing to Conan. Conan didn't know this. He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing this podcast with this person, like, and it's really cool. We've been."
That's what I saw. Yeah, or this thing. I listened to this the other day.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, "We actually have." Like, can we play the snippet that I give to your producers? And he's like, oh, yeah, of course. And then it was the audio of the Mac and Me clip, which is pretty funny. Paul Rudd, comedic genius. Who knew? Rudd. You ever see Mac and Me, Carissa? No? She's never even heard of it. Well, it's okay.
I will say this. I didn't hear of it until I was an adult.
Oh, really? I don't know how I saw it, how I found out about it. But yeah, I watched it as a kid. I remember going to this place called Video Biz. It's now
Video Biz, yeah.
Yeah, you remember by McDonald's. Yeah. And I rented it. I will say that like you can categorize people in two categories: those who saw Mac and Me as a child and grew up to be weirdos, and those who watched ET like a normal human being. Right. I watched ET as well. I did.
Yeah, most Mac and Me kids watched ET as well, but you can't undo what Mac and Me does to children.
Yeah,
because they don't just throw the kid off the cliff. He's a handicapped kid.
Right.
And then there's the vacuum scene. That was a crazy scene.
I don't remember that. I only remember the him falling off a cliff.
That's because Paul Rudd grounded into your memory.
Right.
Because I will. Yeah. It's an insane endeavor, that movie. But it was clearly a ripoff of E.T.
So here are some other symptoms of people who frequently have claimed to be abducted. Okay. A lot of them have previous New Age beliefs, whatever that is. I like to think I'm a New Age man. I like to, I'm not too old school. Maybe when it comes to like,
I don't know. I've heard you tell people to get off your lawn, but
I've never told anybody to get off my lawn, but I've never seen anybody on my lawn. Coincidence? Who knows? A vivid fantasy life. What does that mean? Do you have a fantasy life? Like, is that like where everything is? Now you do.
No. I mean, this is something I've actually been talking to some people about recently. Because it's something that, like, with writing and stuff, I'm trying to explore a little bit. But it's like, I consider we should all have like an ego fantasy life that we live.
Okay. You might have been abducted, dude. Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
That I've had many times. There was a while where I was going through that. Yeah, a lot. It's really not fun. Not fun at all.
That's crazy, man. And this was done, like these results were found from a Harvard study.
Right. Yeah. It's a big name.
Tell me about your sleep paralysis.
Oh, this is your normal sleep paralysis.
Your normal sleep paralysis, yeah, for everyone that's done that.
People that have had it, it's literally you're lying awake. You can't move.
That's crazy.
And you have this like impending. That's the worst part is this impending terror. that something's closing in on you, and then it becomes harder and harder to breathe. Sometimes if you try hard enough, and I've had this happen, there was one time I remember that I actually got to the point like where I was able to move, but it feels like you're carrying weights or you're sand, and like that, like I remember I kept on getting up and then finding myself back where I was, and it was not fun. I used to have which this must be dreaming, but like, so there's sleep paralysis, but I don't know what you call this, but it's like I used to go through these cycles of like I would wake up where I was and go like I fell asleep on the couch or something, right? And I'd get up to go turn on a light and go to sleep, and I'd go to turn on the light and the light wouldn't turn on, and then all of a sudden I'd wake up back on the couch, and then I'd go and try and turn on the light wouldn't turn on, and I'd wake up back on the couch, and it would take like what felt like hours to finally get out of bed for real and go, or get off the couch for real and go to bed. Like I don't know what that is, but that used to happen to me all the time.
Rob,
to the point where if I turned on a light and it was out, because that used to happen in my apartment where the lights would there was the lights in the kitchen that would always pop, they'd always blow. But I'd go, if I didn't realize that it happened, I'd go to turn on a light, and if the light didn't turn on, I'd instantly be like sweating with fear, because it would put me right back in those like scenarios. And I'd think I'm about to wake up, but it was just like there were times where it was like, oh, the light bulb's just out, but it like made me like, it like triggered me like going like, oh shit, I'm fucking sleeping somewhere right now.
That could be part of the psychosis. I think you were abducted, dude.
I was not abducted.
You don't know that. Have you ever been hypnotized?
No, I would love to be hypnotized though.
I'd be afraid to be hypnotized. What do you think? Like, especially if it's like a hypnotherapy session.
That I would do. I would never do like one of those like going up on stage things. I don't like that.
They make you dance or whatever and wiggle your butt.
Yeah, right.
Your
who knows what they put in your mind?
That's crazy. I think there's a good chance that you were abducted. So I guess we can kind of wrap this topic up, because that's kind of what it is. If you experience lost time, it's often linked to alien abduction. So do you think it's more likely you're just rooted in habitual routine, oftentimes when you're driving, that you just go down a path that you're not supposed to go down, clearly from muscle memory? 2, you're just zoned out for a long time. You're just so bored in the situation that you're just zoned out. You come back and you're like, oh shit, it's been 3 hours. Or 3, the most reasonable explanation, you were fucking abducted.
Well, that is the most reasonable, unless you, in my opinion, I think that the big key indicator of which category you should put yourself in is where you end up after the missing time.
Sure.
If you end up somewhere where you were not supposed to be,
that makes sense.
Then you might want to start questioning and watching for bleeding issues and things like that. But if you're just like, oh shit, did I stop at those 2 stop signs that I have to stop at every day on the way to work? You know the ones, Drew. They're on Hickory. And but you're still on Hickory on your, and you got. Then I think it's just your brain is going like, I just shut off for a bit. Sorry. I hope we didn't hit any pedestrians, but I think I would remember that.
There's been some notable abduction claims, but it looks like really the last big one of some notoriety was back in the 80s. I don't know. I bet you it happens to a lot of people, and they just don't nowadays. Like, they just don't talk about it. I don't know.
Well, what's weird is now the government has come out and said aliens exist.
Have they said aliens exist, or is it UFOs are real?
UFOs are real.
So this brings. I was listening to a podcast recently, and a person, you would know who he is, Tom DeLonge, formerly of Blink 182.
Oh yeah, Blink 182.
He has mingled with a lot of government officials in the world of UFOs, and his explanation is it's more or less UFOs are real, but it's more or less bleeding of parallel times and frequencies.
Yeah, I know that those people can go
You don't
jump
think
off an alternative reality cliff, if you ask me.
Okay, so you don't think there's endless, like, just parallel universes, like different frequencies, like there's like a million lives being lived where I'm sitting right now in real time, and there's occasionally a bleed.
I absolutely
into
believe
it.
that.
You do.
I absolutely believe
But
that,
not
and I believe
aliens.
that there's bleed. I believe that there's bleed through as well, but I don't believe that that's what creates the UFO phenomenon.
Do you think there's a parallel frequency or world in which my wife...
I almost believe that that's where ghosts and things come into play more so than aliens and stuff. Aliens, I feel like, are in our reality, because the universe is so vast and it's so long lived, that there's got to be things that are capable of these things and are more technologically advanced. But when it comes to like alternate timelines in our or alternate realities, I think that the bleed through comes through more as spirits and ghosts. That would be the way I would look at it.
Sure.
I have no proof on the subject matter. I have no whatever. I just
do you think there's a world where one dudes with brews on a porch is like, we're the ones getting the $200 million Spotify deals, and my wife loves me?
And your wife what? I'm sorry.
Loves me.
Yeah, that one I don't know about, but the $200 million.
She loves me very much.
No, that's the thing that I was just talking about before, though. The egotistical fantasy. That's like your egotistical fantasy is that tomorrow you will look at the numbers and 1 million people will have downloaded and commented in good ways on the podcast.
Yeah.
My egotistical fantasy is that I will write something and give it, send it in, and it'll become the next Stranger Things. I don't expect that to happen, but part of your brain, like we all should have a part of our brain that like goes, what if?
Right.
That's like this fantasy in our egos that you don't want to admit to people. It's embarrassing to admit that I want that, or that I don't even care. Like, I feel like I don't care if that happens, but if it did, that would be really kind of cool, right?
For sure.
Same thing with the podcast taking off. Like, it's not necessarily.
And there's an entrepreneur out there that would say that we're doing the podcasting all wrong, that we've taken the correct steps into turning content into monetization of some sorts. But because we don't have those numbers of monetization to reach monetization, we're doing the content all wrong. Would you agree with that? We need to adjust the format.
I mean, I feel like there's probably some like entrepreneurial creative minds that would go like, hey, if it's not what you want it to be in what, 5 years now, then you need to rebrand and reset. That
brings me to my next point. The 29th is the 5-year anniversary of the podcast. 5 years I've been doing.
See, look, I walked you right into that. Segued it perfectly by accident.
Yeah. So hopefully there's an episode on that day, other than this one. We'll see. I got some things coming up, and I just gotta put it together. You're gonna be.
Yeah.
Are you able to record at my house?
Yeah.
And listen to the.
What did we say? Thursday?
Yeah, possibly Thursday. Sure.
Don't. If we didn't say Thursday, don't say yes, because I either told you or Dree that I was going to hang out with them on Thursday.
I don't remember.
Drew and Dree are a little too close, and now I'm like not sure.
Double check with him, and then we'll form
but
our thing
I'll work
that.
around that. Yeah.
Yeah. Josh is going to be here on Wednesday. He's gonna
record.
Yeah. He's going to
all right
say some things about it. I don't think it's not going to be very long. It's going to be just a little what? On Wednesday? Yeah. At like 5 or 6? Why?
For the listener, Drew's wife is telling him that they have plans.
It's not even plans. It's just he's just going to come record a thing real quick. It's not going to be long.
I love that we're doing this on mic. Please don't cut this out.
Are you mad about that? Jeez,
She sounds upset.
I'm going to be in the doghouse. Yeah. Guess I better get those sheets on the couch tonight. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she makes him sleep on the floor, everybody.
Yeah,
Don't.
And not like a carpeted floor, the basement floor. That's where she makes me sleep.
His face goes right where the dogs bit through the carpet.
But yeah, 5 years of the podcast.
That's a big deal, dude. Congrats.
It's not really a big deal because one, not many people listen to it enough. Two,
I think
none of my friends
like
listen
you're shortchanging the people that listen.
No, I'm not. I love them.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I wish more of my friends listened, and more of my family listened, just so I could feel like, hey, I'm interesting. You know what I mean? I'm on the radio.
Yeah, I just like to feel it one time that I'm an interesting human being.
I'm on the radio 5 days a week for 5 hours. How many of my friends do you think listen to that? Even just check in. None.
Well, it gives me high hopes that when I write something and I get a credit, no one will watch.
Thousands of people listen to me on the radio. Believe it or not, thousands. Do you believe that?
I do.
Not a single one of my friends. That kind of hurts.
Radio's dead, man. I'm sorry.
Radio is not dead. Radio is not dead. Shut up. It's not dead.
Unless you're in your car, how are you listening to the radio?
Yeah, the car.
So,
but people put it on. People on the background. People play. It's on playing in businesses. My voice can be heard in a Taco Bell locally. Can yours?
No, I've already. I'm a bad friend. I didn't listen to your radio show.
Yeah, why didn't you? Why didn't you?
Because I was working at the time. I didn't have control of the radio.
No, that's fine. I've interviewed.
Here's the thing. We can't get our friends and family to listen to this podcast, which is beamed directly to their phone, which is always on them. How do you expect to get your friends and family to go out and get in their car to go to the only radio they know exists?
Well, I mean, they're
at a specific time.
Odds are they're in their car
at a specific time.
I'm on from 2 to 7. Most people get done with work between 4 and 5.
Wait, you're on that long now?
Yeah.
Because you weren't for a while. You weren't on the radio anymore, and then it was I thought it was just an hour a day or something.
All right. So here's the timeline. I was on the radio full time for a while in the mornings. Well, I started on Saturdays at one station. Got let go from there, and then went to this other station, worked full time, got on the morning show, and then I had a million other shows too. I had 4 or 5 shows when I was full time, and then after I left, I was still on for an hour. You're right, on Sundays it was Drew's Punk Rock Power Hour, which I did everything for it, and it was a lot of work.
See that I listened to once.
Okay, thank you. And then
because I had to plow on a Sunday, and I got to listen to the radio in the plow, and I knew that you were on.
Yeah,
I put it on.
And then yeah, there was a little bit of a break where I wasn't on at all, but I was still on every year in December where I did
that. Yep, okay.
Christmas. And then from there, it's been over a year now that I've been Monday through Friday 2 to 7. It's all pre-recorded.
I didn't realize it was 2 to 7 though.
Yeah. I recorded Monday's show today. It's Sunday.
Okay.
So ruined the magic. It's pre-recorded, but people don't. My brother listens. That's nice. Does he listen?
Maybe our friends and family just
don't like
hate pre-recorded stuff.
Maybe they're just not my friends.
I don't know. Hey, I stand by what I put on the Facebook page that didn't show up for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Well.
For some people, I don't know. It's a weird dichotomy of what friendship actually is, but
well, for some reason we keep doing this.
I like doing it. I don't
it's fun.
How many people listen?
I'm sorry you're not on it as much as you are, as much as you used to be. I apologize. I do feel bad about that, but
Well, you've just embarrassed me a little bit because I run in. I plug the podcast out here all the time, and then I run back into people, and they're like, "Yeah, that was not you."
Odds are, though,
and
that
I was like, you got to go back like 60 episodes now.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I'm sorry, Rob. It's hard to navigate, and you knew this. You knew this when you fled the country. Well, you knew this when you
the country.
when you dropped the information that you were leaving, and it's just hard, man. The last episode, it was spur of the moment. I was like, we got to get this out. So I called the mulligan. I got my wife on. She provides great entertainment as well. She's very good. You better watch out, Rob, because if she keeps her A game up, you're gone.
I totally. I say
kidding.
she should be the new co-host.
No,
she's way better than I am.
You're forever the co-host, Rob. Forever. We just got to get on like a schedule where we can. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's hard.
And that's the thing. Like Sundays, Sundays are Sundays at this time.
Yeah.
You know, I want to tease the guest that's going to be coming up pretty soon. But he said like this. He was like this was the time that he even said was perfect. Was
okay.
5 o'clock my time.
Okay.
And it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to interview somebody who I know and you don't know, as opposed to how we always do it, which is interviewing people you know and I don't know.
Yeah, you can take the wheel. You can guide the conversation because he's a writer, correct? An author.
Yeah, he just published a book. Yep.
Okay, so we'll arrange that. He'll be on. The 5-year anniversary show will hopefully be available shortly, and we'll see how that goes. And you know, maybe in between that time we'll be abducted, and I don't know. Maybe we'll be abducted together. We're gonna be together again soon for a weekend. It's gonna be good. Hopefully.
You know how much money it would save me if I was abducted and dropped in Wisconsin? Oh man.
Quite a bit. Well, Rob, how was your beer?
It was good. It was a good beer. It was a little bit bitter up right at first.
Yeah.
But once my palate kind of adjusted to the bitterness of it, it was good.
Rob,
how was yours?
Did
you ever get the taste out of it?
No, not really. Let me try.
This is the first time I think I've beat you to the bottom of the beer.
Yeah, probably. This one's it's just.
But I've been drinking a lot more beer lately.
I don't think this is. I don't get the s'mores out of it. You just cracked another one open, huh?
I did. Once I have one, I'm gonna have two.
All right, fair enough. I just don't have.
Once I wake up, I'm gonna have one.
Okay, I don't get the I don't get the s'mores out of it. I don't. So it's fine.
That sucks because it sounded like a really good beer, based on the description.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
It's fine. Okay, well, that's drink it or dump it is the question.
I'll finish it.
I feel like drink it or dump it has always been a contentious way to end the episode because it's very rare that we're like, let's just waste the beer and dump. I mean, we're from Wisconsin. We're gonna drink it.
We've done a few.
Yeah.
We've dumped.
I'll dump that pickle beer every time.
Yeah. I'm just gonna make you drink it every time we.
That fungus beer too was not great.
Oh, that mushroom one, Forager.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was gross. That was not good.
So I mean, if we're dumping it, in 5 years we've dumped maybe 3 beers.
Well, okay. So we're approaching 5 years. How do we sign off then? How does Astonishing Legends sign off?
Astonishing Legends?
Yeah, how do they sign off?
I don't know. I don't listen to them. And they never sign. They don't sign off. They do 8-part episodes and they ramble forever.
They just end it with music.
Yeah. They fade into something.
I feel like we gotta have a sign off. Casey Kasem, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Yeah, man. Reach
Rick
for the
Dees.
stars and watch out for owls, dude.
Rick Dees, Dees nuts.
Yeah. So
who else is there? How does Howard Stern say goodbye?
Okay, what was Cronkite's sign off?
Who?
Walter Cronkite.
Who the fuck is that?
He was a famous newsman.
Newsman?
He was a news anchor.
Newsman? You know, you go to California for what? A handful of months, and now you're saying newsman. You're fucking. What is wrong with you? Newsman.
I'm ashamed of myself.
Well, how do we end this? Do we just say I love you? Let's just say I love you to every guest. So like this next this guy that we're gonna be interviewing. All right, appreciate it. Love you.
Yeah, I like that.
Just say it and see if they say it back.
Yeah.
And if
you
they
have a good night, and I love you, man.
And if they don't, we
never have them on again.
Yeah,
because we have so many repeat guests. You know?
We ban Goff is always on.
So is Todd. Todd's a
on.
good guest.
I think Todd would say he loves me at least. I think he would.
I'll win him over.
Yeah, you will.
One of these days.
Well, we'll figure that out, okay?
I think that's our greatest I think that should be our sign off. We'll figure out our sign off next time.
Until next time.
We'll just keep kicking the can down the road. Hydration
is important. And just remember, somebody probably likes you somewhere. At least one person. At least one person in the world.
Just remember, somebody probably likes you somewhere. That's it. I think that's it. We found the money right there.
All right. Here's one. Here's a sign off. Right. And that's another great episode of Dudes with Brews on a Porch. I love you. And if I can have 3 kids, odds are you can have 1.
If I can have 3 kids, odds are you might have 1.
Yeah, you could maybe get 1.
All right.
Yeah,
I love you too.
We'll just give like little tidbits
I
of
don't know.
information.
I don't know what else to say to that.
Yeah. I love you, and your dreams and ambitions likely are unattainable.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good. Make sure you subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review, or don't.
What would you? Yeah. Let's get. Let's try and get people involved. Write what on Instagram or Facebook or wherever.
Instagram.
What do you think? What do you think our outro tagline should be?
Yeah.
Let's get some support from the listeners.
Yeah. Who was that one guy that critiqued the show that one time? Dave something. Remember that fucking guy?
I remember that happening, but I don't remember the guy. He wasn't worth it.
Well, whoever he is, I hope you get fired, laid off, and I hope you're broke, you son of a bitch. All right.
Yeah, and remember, somebody somewhere probably doesn't like you.
Nobody
fuck.
likes that guy. Nobody likes that guy. All right.
All right. I'm good I'm good with that ending. Let's end it there.
Pew pew audio. Goodbye, everyone.